Hi, katzcradul here. I can't believe I'm finally really sitting down here at the computer to make this video. I've tried to make a video for over a week and just can't seem to get motivated to do it. Not sure exactly what's wrong. Just don't have any interest lately. Noreen did a tag video and I was just gonna kind of politely ignore it or tell her I didn't have time or something, because usually I don't do tag videos, and I wouldn't be doing this one now, except over the past few days I've watched a couple of the tag videos on this subject and have found it very relaxing just to sit there and listen to people talk about themselves and to learn a little more about people who I really like and whose channels I watch. So in some strange sort of way, I thought maybe you might enjoy this. I don't know. When I first saw the tag, I thought, well, that's kind of a goofy tag. Who'd want to hear me answer those 30 questions? But since I did find enjoyment from watching some of the others, I thought I would give it a try. So here goes, and there may be a couple of questions I combine. What is your favorite month and why? My favorite month is October, because then it gets cool enough to be bearable for me. I do not enjoy the summer, and I'm not particularly fond of the harshest part of winter. Actually, my favorite day of the year is Easter Day. I usually like that day because flowers are blooming where I live, and I enjoy that very much. But if I had to say an overall favorite month, that would be October. My favorite color is green. And I learned that was my favorite color when I was 12 years old and my grandmother took me to Ireland. I had never seen green like it was there and fell in love with it and recognized it as the color of life, and I love it. I love that color. What was my very first YouTube video about? It was about brown sugar. It was how to vacuum seal brown sugar. And the interesting thing is, I didn't even know I could make a video or have a YouTube channel. I was very naive, and I saw somebody using a camera just like I had, and they were shooting video, and I said, "Are you kidding me? That camera shoots video?" And they said, "Yes." I said, "I have that same kind of camera." And somebody on a YouTube channel was talking about how to vacuum seal brown sugar, and they didn't know how to do it. And I thought, well, I'll make and post a video, and that's the only video and I intended to post. And so that's how it all got started. What was my first YouTube channel? This was my first YouTube channel, and I can't picture ever having another one. This will be it, I'm sure. The next question is, do I like the new YouTube layout? Well, who cares? It doesn't really matter, whether you like it or not. You're not going to be able to do anything about it if you don't like it, because there's no way to get in touch with anybody at YouTube. Yeah, you can send them an email message and they may or may not get back to you, and if they do, it's going to be 3 weeks or 4 weeks or until they get back to you. So I have just learned to go with the flow there and not get all frustrated about YouTube. Just make the changes and adjustments where I need to make them, as long as they just show me that little arrow up in the right hand corner so that I can get into my channel easily and move around there. For about 3 weeks that button was partially hidden, and I had to go down and move the bar at the bottom of the page every time I wanted to do something. That was very frustrating, but magically something about that changed last week, and now I'm able to see that little arrow, so that works good. Now the next question is, what is my favorite device? And you would think it would be a kitchen implement, and I had to think long and hard about this, but when it finally came to me, then it was like, oh, of course that's my favorite, and it is my garage door opener. I love being able to pull in and out of my garage without having to get out and open my garage door. It's so nice because I usually on a cold winter morning, or every morning, have a good bit to load into my car, being a teacher, and I haul home stuff, and in the winter it's just so nice just to be able to pull right into the garage. So without a doubt, if that thing is on the blink, which it has been giving us a little bit of trouble lately, oh, I really do miss it. And if it gives us any more trouble, I'm going to march right out and buy a brand new one, because I'm not going to be without it. So my favorite device, a garage door opener. Okay, what kind of camera do I use to shoot my videos? Well, this is the one I would like to use. This is my brand new Canon PowerShot, which I love. It takes beautiful videos and beautiful pictures, and in fact, another YouTuber uses this camera, and I was so impressed with her videos. I sent her a PM and asked her if she'd tell me what kind of camera she used, and I ordered it that very day. And I came home and made a couple of movies and have never been able to get them to upload. The extender on the movies made with this camera are .mov, and my movie maker program will not accept those no matter what I do. It only wants an .avi extender, and as soon as I can figure out how to use this camera, I think the joy in video making will come back to me, and I will be eager to do it, but I just haven't been able to figure it out. And if any of you out there are experts in that, I'd love to hear from you. So that's the camera I want to use. Previous to that, I've been using a little Nikon that cost about half as much, and it did a good job, but it's tired and old right now. Alright, now there's a couple of questions about sleep, so I'm going to put them all right here together. I am it asks whether I'm a early sleeper or a late sleeper, and I think what they're asking is, am I a morning person or a night person? I am definitely a morning person. I am not a night person. There's a saying around my house that my husband started that says nothing's funny after 8 o'clock, and that's true, because I don't joke around or play around after 8. I don't find the humor in much of anything after that time, because I'm sleepy and I want to be in bed. I do stay up late lots of times to get work done or get projects done, but I don't like it. I do best in the morning. I don't do anything to go to sleep. I can sleep anytime, anywhere, any place. I don't have any problem. If I were to lay my head down on the desk right now, I would fall sound asleep and wouldn't wake up for an hour. So I have no ritual before I go to bed. All I do is lay down and go to sleep, and it usually only takes me a few moments. An old boyfriend used to tell this story on me every chance he got until he passed away just a couple of years ago. We went out one night after a football game to the local pizza place where all the kids went after the ball game, and he was quite the comedian. He was telling stories and had the whole place laughing and was just carrying on. And he said he looked over and saw his date, which was me, sleeping in the corner booth, and that is absolutely true. I didn't stay awake usually much after 10 o'clock, and it was after 10, and I just fell asleep, and he never let me forget that. He always teased me about it. What is the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning? Well, that's really easy. I wake up between 2 and 2:30 every morning and move to the sofa, because I have a little bit of a back problem and can't lay in bed for more than about 4 hours. So I finish out the night on the sofa, and that's the first thing I do is I walk down my long hall to the living room and lay down on the sofa. That's the first thing I do. The next question here is, what is your real name? Well, you know, I am kind of private and like to protect myself a little bit, and so for now you can just call me Katz, and maybe at some point I'll feel comfortable revealing that. Some of my close friends on YouTube know my name and will occasionally slip and call it, but I'm very comfortable with that name, and you can just call me Katz. The next question is, what are my hobbies? I used to have lots of hobbies. My favorites were quilting and painting. I haven't done those in years. I guess now my hobby is really making YouTube videos. My favorite things related to that are developing recipes, and I have a knack for that and a talent. Lots of times people will bring me something to taste, like something they've eaten out at a restaurant that they think is fabulous, and they'll bring me a bite or so to taste and say, tell me what's in that. How do I make that? What do I do? And I'm able generally to tell people how to do that, and I can taste what ingredients are in it, and probably can identify what kind of techniques they use to make it. I can look at recipes and tell you if they're a good recipe. I can look at at recipes and tell you what needs to be added to it, what's missing. So that's what I do. I spend a lot of time doing that, and I think some of you get a sense for that as you make my recipes. I promise to only give you ones that I think are exceptional. Most of them are ones that I've worked a long time to develop. So I hope you appreciate that, because I do enjoy doing that. The next question is, do I like ice cream or frozen yogurt? That's easy. It's ice cream. And my favorite flavor is mint chocolate chip, hands down. There's not even a close second. If I had to choose one, it'd probably be butter pecan, but it's far and away second. So mint chocolate chip is it. What inspired me to get started on YouTube? Teaching others, wanting to teach others what I know about prepping. Like I said, that brown sugar video, how to vacuum seal brown sugar, was my first video because someone had a question about it and I knew how to do it. So that's what got me started, and what has motivated me all along is to teach and help others know how to do those things that I know how to do that are a blessing to my family. So that's how I got started. What one tip would I give to a new YouTuber? Don't try to learn it all at one time. It's doable if you take it a little piece at a time. Don't let it overwhelm you, because that's why it took me so long to make a video, because I was so scared I wouldn't be able to learn how to do it. But don't worry about that. Just do it a little bit at a time. I'm going to do these a little bit out of order here because I think I have my pictures a little out of order. What is my worst food? My worst food is liver. I do not like it at all. And what is my story attached to that food? My story attached to that is when I was pregnant with my first child, I was very anemic, and my doctor at that time told me the best thing I could do was to eat liver once a week. And I wish he would have told me anything but that. But there was a cafeteria fairly close to where I live. You've heard me talk about it. I'm from the South. It was called Luby's. And I remember my mother used to get liver there all the time. So I would make myself, when I was pregnant, once a week to go to Luby's to eat liver. And I would put it on my plate, and I would walk to the furthest table. They had little rooms there, and I would try to find a room where no one was in. And I would go sit as far away as I could with my back to the other people, so they wouldn't see me grimace as I eat it, and so they wouldn't see the tears rolling down my face because I loathed it so much I just could hardly swallow it. So I've told my son before, never doubt how much I love him, because I ate liver once a week when I was pregnant with him, and it was a tremendous sacrifice because I really loathe it. My favorite food, without a doubt, is boiled crawfish. For a lot of you who watch this, you may not even know what that is. I have people from all over the world who watch my channel. It is a food that is served frequently in southeast Texas and southern Louisiana. I grew up enjoying crawfish, and it's my absolute favorite food. My favorite drink to wash that down is a Diet Dr. Pepper, although I haven't had one in over a year. I gave them up in January 1st of 2012 and have not had one since. I will tell you that my husband and I walked out of a Chinese restaurant a couple of weeks ago, and there was a little 1 liter, I think it's about a 1 liter bottle of Dr. Pepper that was laying in the bushes as we walked down the sidewalk that had never been opened, and I stopped dead in my tracks and just stared at it. Anyway, I do miss it. I love the taste. I know I was definitely hooked on it for several reasons, and am glad I gave it up. But that is my favorite drink, although now I'm mostly drinking water. Yes, I do have siblings. Many of you know my father died when I was very young. My mother remarried when I became a teenager, and so I have a blended family. I had a sister going into that, but then I gained a brother that is my younger sister's exact age, and then a sister 2 years younger. We all grew up together as teenagers, and we are very close. What's my favorite fruit? I'm not going to go search for a picture. I think you can all picture a strawberry. I'm not a big fruit eater, but I do like strawberries. What law would I change if I could? That would be the law that allows the government to tax my property, my home that I own outright. I don't think they should be able to tax your home. My favorite store, you probably will not be surprised that it is a grocery store. And it's a grocery store in San Antonio called Central Market. I could spend all day there. Love that grocery store. In fact, I love a good grocery store in general. Paladin Prepper lured me to Missouri on the promise that he'd put me, locate us very close to a great grocery store. Anyway, that's the one I like in San Antonio, Central Market. Okay, a couple more questions here. What one device do you wish you had? I wish I had a new camera for my computer so that when I Skype, my camera always worked. Mine is not always very reliable, and I just need to upgrade it, but that's a pretty cheap fix, so I'm going to do that pretty quick. Like, what did I want for the holidays? I wanted an electric pencil sharpener and a floor tripod to make better movies. I got both of those, so I guess I was a pretty good girl this year. What did I want to be when I grew up? I always just wanted to be a wife and a mother. That's all I wanted. If I could say anything other than that, I wanted to be good. And that is still my desire. I want to be good. I want to be a good person. What languages do I speak? I only speak English. I wish I spoke Spanish. Well, I do speak a little bit of French. But English is my language, and I enjoy trying to speak it well. What's my favorite state? Well, I live in Missouri, and I do love it. But Texas is my home, and it always will be. I lived there for the first 40-something years of my life, rarely leaving, and I love the great state of Texas. In fact, whenever I go home, which is not very often, whenever I cross the state line into Texas, and it doesn't matter where it is, I may still be 500 miles from home, but as soon as I cross over the state line into Texas, I am home. What is my occupation? I would usually say I'm a teacher, but even broader than that, what I do, even outside of the public school system, or as I educate parents outside of the school setting, what I do is I teach. And that's what I will always do. It's what I love to do. I teach. I was a speaker at a preparedness conference back in November, and at the conclusion of that, a man I didn't know waited in line a good long time to be able to speak with me. And he came up to me and he shook my hand and he said, "You're one of the rare people I know who are a natural teacher." He said, "I listened to you as I spoke and watched the audience as they listened attentively to you." He said, "You are a good teacher." And that is one of the nicest compliments I have ever received. I enjoy teaching. I think I have somewhat of a gift of conveying information, and that's the reason I'm here on YouTube as well. So I know this has been a little long. I hope it hasn't been too tedious. I hope you've learned something about me you didn't know, and that maybe in some way it's been a little bit enjoyable. Until next time, this is Cat's Cradle.